Today we are going to solve this problem called find all numbers disappeared in an array. Given an array nums of n integers where nums I is the range of 1 to n, return an array of all the integers in the array in the range 1 to n that don't appear in nums. For example, nums is equal to 4, 3, 2, 7, 8, 2, 3, 1. And you can see in this array 5 and 6, the two elements don't appear in this num. So you need to return 5 and 6. And this example, num equal 1, 1, and the size of the array is 2. So what number doesn't appear in the nums? Nums range is 1 to 2, so you can find 2 doesn't appear in the num. So you need just return 2. Okay, this is constraints. Follow up. Could you do it with the extra space in O of n runtime? You may assume return list does not count as extra space. This is a really let's look at the hint. This is a really easy problem if you decide to use additional memory. For those trying to write an initial solution using additional memory, think counters. So at first, when I think of problem to solve, when I first think of how to solve the problem, I think if I use another additional memory, I will mark the new memory. If, for example, I will clone a same size of the array nums, and if 4 appear, I will mark the index of 4 in the new array. Use up to 1, and by the way, I will initialize the new array. All the elements is initialized by 1, by negative 1. So if I find 4, I will to mark it the index 3 by 1 by absolute value minus 1 to optional 1. So you can find which elements in the end is still minus 1, negative 1. This is what the number doesn't appear. And if you want to get the value in the nums, you just need to add 1 to find the value, because the new array is just the index. So index is 0 index. Okay, however, let's look at the hint 2. However, the trick really is to not use any additional space than what is really available to you. Sometimes multiple passes over the input array help find the solution. However, there is an interesting piece of information in this problem that makes it easy to reuse the input array itself for the solution, but we can't allocate a new memory. We just use the reuse the input array itself for the solution. Let's look at hint 3. The problem specifies that the numbers is in the array will be in range 1 to n, where n is the numbers of elements in the array. Can we use the information and modify the array in place somehow to find what we need. Okay, so I just think how to get a relationship between the the index and the value. So I think I can find a method somehow to correspond to the value and to the index of the array. So this is my solution. I use Java. Let me say my method at the beginning. Okay. My solution is if I go through the array, and for example it is 4, I will mark the index of 3 to -1. So if this is 4, I will mark it 3, the index of the 3 here, to make the value to the opposite of the value. So it become -2, and the next step is 3. I will mark the index of the value 2, value to absolute, to do a absolute. So I will mark 3 to become -3, -3. And then you can see the real value is already been absolute, but so at first you need to get the element's real original value. So at first I just do a math dot absolute to get the real value. So the real value is 2 instead of -2, right? So we will minus the index 1. The index 1 of the array is 4, so I will do absolute of the value. So here it will becomes -4, and here is 7. I will find the index of the array 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make it negative. It's -2. And for example, the 3 has the 2 and the 3 have appeared twice. So it will to do if you find the index 1 4 is already a negative, you just pass, you continue, you can't make it negative again. Yeah. So if you find the number is already negative, you just ignore it. And in the end, you need to go through the element again to find which element is still optimal. It means the optimal element is never been it never been marked, so it means the value never appear in the array. How to find the element doesn't appear? You just need to know the index, and the index at 1, it becomes the real value of the array doesn't appear in the num. So this is my solution. I will create a missing number. It's a list to save the missing number. The number doesn't appear in the array. Okay, so and then I will do a for loop to find. At first, I will find the index to make the index become negative. And here is if a number appear twice, appear 3 times, if you don't need to do anything. So if nums are greater than 0, it means you can't do it. You can do it. So here is to find which nums I is greater than 0, and then you will get the real value by I at 1. Okay, with that.